Welcome. This is your Golden God, and this is another edition of the Man Vlog. If you liked the last thing that we did the last time, then you're gonna enjoy this. It's further down in Los Angeles. It's a great neighborhood near Beverly Hills. It is actually Beverly Hills, and you're gonna enjoy what we did. But just on the matter of enjoyment, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I had a great conversation about something that we're gonna have a great, hopefully, conversation about as stuff gets more bigger and bigger. So I'm gonna be traveling for the next couple of weeks, and I'm definitely going to try to put out my golden godliness for you. But if not, then we're gonna have to improvise. But there's definitely gonna be a lot of great content coming your way. However, what I wanted to talk to you guys about was the importance or the value of traveling. I wouldn't say the importance of traveling. Now, I'm a little different. I'm not going to be one of those guys who keeps telling you like, hey, you gotta travel today. Just go out there, travel. You loser, get out of your house. No, I'm not gonna do any of that. What I'm gonna tell you is that traveling has value. However, that value depends on who you are. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that when you travel, and again, it depends on person to person. Not everybody will have the same value of traveling. Everybody likes different cultures, you know. You're not unique when you're like, oh, what do you like? My interests are traveling. You know, shit, Sherlock, like 99% of humanity likes traveling. Like, who doesn't like seeing other strange stuff and other cultures and people and eating other new food? But the value of traveling is limited to the people who actually learn while traveling about themselves, about their culture and about other cultures. And I know you start to think, well, I learn about cultures all the time. You know, they're very different. Like, no. No. That's not what I mean. Because this video is shot in LA, it's in English, so I'm primarily addressing an English-speaking audience, which is basically going to be like the United States, Canada, the UK, and Australia, and then everybody else who speaks English everywhere else in the world. The way people travel here is very like, oh, I went there, I had this, oh, they're so nice, they're so different. Nice is not a description. When you're a traveler, right, everybody's nice to you all the time. When you're a tourist, everybody's nice to you all the time. But that is not a description of a culture. If you travel to another country, you need to have the words in your vocabulary, and you need to have the thoughts to describe how they're different than you. Like, oh, I went there and their culture is different than me in these ways. And these ways are the ones I appreciated, and these ways are the ones that I did not appreciate or that I think we do better. Now, if you're like, oh my God, that's blah, 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 like, nah, that's so discrimination, blah, 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 blah. Now, this is not the right place for you though, right? There's an expression, a man of discriminating tastes. What that means is the man who can discriminate among what is good and what is bad, what is high quality, what is low quality. It's a compliment. So unless you can discriminate between how you were raised and how everybody else was raised and how that's different, you can't really do anything and make a conscious or useful information out of traveling. Now, what do I mean by that? Discrimination is not good or bad. Discrimination is the ability to see the differences and objectively value them. For example, I've traveled to almost every continent on Earth, almost every. And there is a significant difference between Europeans, Nordic people, Asian people, South Asian people, African people, Middle Eastern people, South American people, North American people. Does everybody get everything right? No, but that's normal. What matters most is that you realize that you were raised in a particular environment and you either fit in that environment or you don't. What do I mean? For example, when you start traveling, you realize that the family values that have completely collapsed in the United States and Canada and all Anglo-Saxon countries, you have broken families. It's considered absolutely normal to think about your mom having sex with other people, which is like, what the hell? It's absolutely normal to not have a dad in your life. What the hell? But you start traveling, right? And you see that that is considered the most abnormal thing in the world. Broken families are considered shameful. Like men don't abandon their children. And women, mothers, it's not like your mother is your mom. It's like an edifice, But unless you travel, you're in your little bubble, right? And you're thinking the whole world is like that. That's why you don't understand how other people think and why they behave differently, because their values are different. Now, that is a critical example. A positive example would be if you're in the United States or Canada. You can come here still, so far, really put your elbows to the ground, do the hard work, and become very, very successful. You have that kind of freedom. You don't need to bribe and blah, 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 at least on a lower level. Like, you can really become successful. In other cultures, not so much. It's very regimented, it's very strict. You gotta know the right people, you gotta be the right people, you gotta come from the right people, etc. Now, what matters when you travel is that you start learning about yourself. What do I mean by that? You start learning about what kind of culture you appreciate. For example, Americans, we say a lot of stuff about freedom, like, whoa, freedom, yeah, America. In some ways, America is not free at all. In other ways, America is free. For example, if you want to live a free life, free from overreaching government, right? America is way better than the UK, where they're arresting like British people, Anglo-Saxon British people walking down the street for breaking COVID rules, but then they let like a bunch of like really messed up people who raped many, many girls go free, So compared to the UK, United States is very free. But compared to, let's suppose, a country like Brazil, there's much more personal freedom in Brazil than in the United States. Flip side, wherever there is more personal freedom, the average person has to be sharper because it's not as safe. The average person, you are responsible for your own safety. You can't just go out and mess up and then cry like, oh my God, the police will help me. Nah, they just laugh at you. You do something stupid, you go to a stupid neighborhood, you get stabbed, and they'll help you, but they'll be like, you're an idiot. Whereas in the United States, they're forced not to say you're an idiot. They're forced to coddle you instead of saying, what an idiot. You shouldn't have gone there. Use your common sense. So there are degrees of freedom. Now, how does this translate to you? How this translates to you is very, very simple. There are some people who can prosper in some types of freedom. And then there are other people who can prosper in other types of freedom. If you're a nerdy person, right? A person who's bookish, a person who's good with like technical stuff, but you absolutely are not good at like social interactions, like masculine stuff, let's say, then a country like America is great for you because you can come here and you can put your brains to work and become wildly successful. However, if you're a very masculine person and you're very free spirit, and you're the kind of person who meets people, gets things together, organizes stuff, gets things done, this place is not going to be good for you, because this place looks down upon dynamic men, dynamic people. There are other places where people will rally around you as a symbol of, the guy that gets shit done. So when you travel, and it's not like a vacation, right? Because there are many times in my life I've experienced the kinds of travelers out there. Ones are the lost souls. They are failures in life and they just keep on traveling because they're running from the fact that they're failures. Don't be that guy. Have the guts to understand, accept your failures and work towards fixing them. The second are the ones who don't really travel to travel. They just travel to enjoy. So like 3 days here, 3 days here, 3 days here. They just have the superficial view. Every country is nice because they're only there for a short time. They eat the good food and live in the good hotel, and it's like, oh, everybody's nice because you're superficially traveling. The third type of people, which is rare, is the people who travel and actually stay some places for, I would say, you at least need 3 months to actually absorb at the minimum amount of culture of a country and get a feel for its people. And you have to be a special kind of person to absorb that. That's very, very, very few people. So the guy who's actually lived in a country that you want to go to, right? You want to go to the country, you're all excited, you're like, oh, I'm traveling, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm the boss, I'm the bomb. But you didn't really spend any time absorbing who the people and the culture were. Then you didn't really understand them, you didn't really know them. So again, we can talk about this a lot, but one of the things you have to realize is travel itself is not going to change your life unless your mind itself has changed to such an extent that it is open, not as a person who just goes wherever the wind takes him, but if it's open to discerning the difference between the cultures where you travel to, your own, and then optimizing your life to make yourself happier based on what you see. And let me tell you one thing to end this video. Good habits, good traditions, healthy relationships, the definition of all of this, healthy family, are the same across the world. It doesn't matter what you're hearing on the news. It doesn't matter what rules your government is passing. The definition of a healthy society, a healthy family, a healthy individual, a healthy relationship, it is shockingly similar, whether you're in China or whether you're in Chile. It's the same. But you won't know this. And you might go out with absolutely ridiculous ideas about what a family is and get yourself punched in the face if you're not careful, if your mind is not open, if you are traveling not to see what other cultures are, but to turn them your way. I will bring democracy to you. All that nonsense. Just an interesting thought I had about travel, because I'm going to be traveling. So the next update should be interesting. It might be very interesting, the next couple of updates, the next couple of weeks. But until next time, here is your golden god signing off. And I'm telling you to keep it cool, keep it sexy, and enjoy.